app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. There's some tumult within Republican ranks at the national level. Of course, you have this issue of the omnibus spending bill. I thought we were trying to combat funny money that feeds an inflationary environment. But Mitch McConnell and some of those surrender Republicans in the Senate seem keen on cutting a deal with Democrats, while Kevin McCarthy and conservatives on the House side would prefer a continuing resolution to be passed that extends the full operation of the government until they take over on January 20th and have more leverage in negotiating spend, controlling the purse strings.
What do you think they should do?
I think they should pass a continuing resolution and wait for their party to take the majority in the House. Obviously, I don't know what the hell I do know what the hell the Senate Republicans like McConnell, Romney, Collins, Murkowski, they like to spend. They're like Democrats. They're not fiscal conservatives, despite the fact they run around. They're just not, they're barely Republicans at all. I mean, try to distinguish the voting record of a Susan Collins or a Mitt Romney from, say, I don't know, Dick Durbin. Perhaps with the exception of some confirmation votes, it'd be difficult to distinguish. Establishment Republican, moderate Republican. No, they're not. They're statists. Call them what they are. But in addition to that, you also have this challenge to Ronna McDaniel, the RNC chairman, that's being lodged by Harmeet Dillon. Harmeet Dillon was on with Maria Bartiromo yesterday, explaining why the challenge and explaining why the need for leadership change at the RNC.
And, it blows my mind that, our leadership is supporting this failed RNC leadership, because we had the opportunity to message clearly on these issues. We had the opportunity to appeal to our voters. We had the opportunity, after learning from the 2020 midterms how the Democrats changed the rules and used all these new methods, ballot harvesting, early voting, and really just, collecting people's ballots, not focusing on emotionally appealing to voters for Election Day. We did not do any of those things. We didn't emotionally appeal to them very well. We did not have candidates that fit the districts. We allowed Democrats to pour hundreds of millions of dollars in dark money spending into our races to define who our candidates were going to be. We had no plan to combat that, and I don't think we have a plan under the current leadership for the next 2 years, and that's a presidential cycle. And so unless Republicans are addicted to losing and want to continue losing, we must make changes in our leadership. And I can't vote for the leadership of the Senate or the leadership of the House, but I can vote as a member of the RNC for changed leadership there. And again, this is not about a personality. This is about what we did for the last 6 years has led us to this disastrous place. We must do something different. And I have a specific plan on how to do that. I've shared that with the members, and I've been talking about it all over the place. And, outside the RNC, tens of thousands of voters have contacted our members to tell them why we need change.
For more on these topics, please be joined by Gary Rabine, founder and CEO of the Rabine Group, a member of the Job Creators Network as well, former Illinois Republican gubernatorial candidate who's also very much involved in national Republican Party politics. Gary, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Amy. How are you guys today?
Good. So what do you think about Harmeet Dillon, and where are you in the issue of changing out Ronna McDaniel as RNC chairman?
Yeah, I think she's pretty weak. I don't think she's done much, and we need more strength in our Republican Party. We haven't seen that with her leadership. We need change.
So are you backing Harmeet Dillon, or have you not decided yet?
I'm not involved in that decision or anything like that. But
right.
if I was, I would definitely be yes.
What about Mike Lindell from the CEO of MyPillow? Is that a serious contender in your mind?
I like Mike Lindell. I've met him a bunch of times, but he's like a mosquito. I've got ADD. He's got ADD times 10. I mean, I'm not sure how you do that job.
That's true. I did read his book. Yes.
Yeah,
a fair assessment.
What was your? You heard Harmeet Dillon's distillation of November. What's yours thinking about it writ large?
Well, I feel like we, as a Republican Party in the whole, we continually creep further and further left, thinking we're going to get more respect from the crazy left.
Yeah.
And it hasn't worked out so well. Here in our state, it's a perfect example. As you guys have seen, we had 25 Republicans, in my opinion, responsible for this Amendment 1 bill this constitutional amendment getting on the ballot. 25, 20 that voted yes, 3 that voted present, and then 2 that didn't show up to vote. Didn't think it was that important. But our labor in Illinois is going to be decimated. The business is going to be decimated with the highest cost in labor in the country's history. And again, I blame it on those 25 Republicans, much like McConnell, weaklings, right, that don't stand up for what's right for small business and a taxpayer.
Well, and to your point, the commentary, new leadership in the House and Senate super minorities caucuses of Republicans in Illinois, and both the new House and Senate Republican leader, John Curran in the Senate and Tony McCombie in the House, they were 2 of the 25 who voted for Amendment 1.
Exactly. There are 2 of the 20 that voted yes. Not even, I mean, again, I think all 25.
2 of the 20, yeah, 2 of the 20, right.
But
yeah.
2 of the 20 that actually voted yes, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And these are our leaders.
Yeah.
Well, do you know any businesses that are going to move out now since Amendment 1 passed?
Like the Rabine Group?
Well,
yeah, I know many businesses. We have 13 little companies here, and they're small businesses and mid-sized businesses that work really hard to make sure that our teams are treated really well. We pay well, and our customers, get great service with great people in our businesses. But we can't continue to think it's okay to stay in the worst state in the country when it comes to competitive nature. So we have to, and I've got 4 or 5 of my CEOs. I said this when I ran for governor. 7 of my companies would be better served somewhere else, and all of them in a small way, but 7 of them in a big way. So I've got my CEOs in these companies begging to get out, even though they love Illinois from here. They want to get out because they know they can compete better somewhere else. And so, yeah, some of them will be moving for sure. But look at in Belvedere, it's a great little town.
Yeah.
Rockford and Belvedere are served by some great manufacturers. But look at this Chrysler move. I'm telling you, they're gonna pop up somewhere else. The unions are saying, they can't. They're basically greedy pigs, and they can't do this, and they haven't heard the end of them. But I'll tell you what, they have the right to move. They have the right to shut down this plant. That's probably the most expensive in the country. It definitely will be with Amendment 1, the most expensive plant to operate in the country labor-wise. So, and that was 1,200 jobs decimating this little community, and yet nobody learns from this.
Yeah. No, it's just, they treat these companies when they move and take hundreds or thousands of jobs with them. Well, companies come and go. That's the attitude you get from the political ruling class.
Look what it did to Galesburg when Maytag left. It ruined
you guys, if you guys remember, like 15 to 20 years ago, in France, there was a place where a lot of big manufacturers were for Europe, including Goodyear, and Goodyear left, and they left because the CEO got kidnapped and held for ransom. The president of the country said, "You greedy son of a gun, just pay him. What you're a multi-billion-dollar company, just pay the ransom." Well, again, that's the same attitude we have in Illinois right now. And what happened to France and Paris, this great city of Paris, decimated. It's a shadow of what it once was, and Illinois will be the same thing because we're not smart enough to have elect Republicans that really care.
I like that analogy. Just pay the ransom. Yeah, that's basic. Yeah, basically, that's what they're saying. I want to get your take too on something we mentioned at the top. You wrote about. You had an op-ed in the Hill, thehill.com, about both the omnibus spending bill and also something else that Republicans should be talking about. That I frankly don't hear any Republicans talking about it. They're just again on defense, playing response to Democrats and their omnibus spending bill, but. Remember those tax cuts that spurred so much innovation and job creation? We should be talking about those too.
Yeah, you know what? I've been a member of the Job Creators Network, and you guys know this we started about 12 years ago as one of the founders. Was heavily involved early on, got involved again to fight against the vaccine mandate that we won at the Supreme Court this year. But I'm going to tell you, this organization's done some great stuff, including when that was going on, those Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, it was Steve Moore and a bunch of our members that were part of building that. And I'll tell you what, afterwards, I didn't know as just a small business guy, I thought it was going to do some good things. But boy, a year later, I could see the differences. Within 6 months, I saw differences. But within a year, I could go back and look at my customers' spend on maintenance of their parking lots and roofs. They were spending way more money, bringing jobs back to America like they'd never seen before. So the results of that Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was amazing. And yet these son of a guns, I guarantee you're going to try to eliminate that and get rid of it. We need to make that permanent.
You mentioned in the piece, I mean, just in terms of making it local and concrete, that the tax cut savings, what it meant for the Rabine Group, 50% higher raises and bonuses for teammates, 100% larger donations to nonprofits, 20 more jobs. That's a real impact. Now, replicate that millions of times across the country.
That was done then, Dan. It was even better a year after that. We've grown a lot in the Rabine Group. A lot of it because of this, because it incentivizes you to hire people, it incentivizes you to buy equipment because you can write it off faster. So way more capital spend, way more spend on your teammates, and overall great for the economy. And again, to take it away would be stupid. But these, when you look, you think it's stupid. We've got a lot of those in our federal government. They will take this away most likely.
He is Gary Rabine, founder and CEO of the Rabine Group, member of the Job Creators Network. Check out his op-ed at thehill.com, which I'll tweet out about making the tax cuts permanent and not the funny money spending. Gary, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Dan. Have a great day.
Thank you, Gary. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
I want Christmas. Just give me plain baby Jesus lying in a manger Christmas.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. They're a bank with roots right here in Chicago, and their decisions are made locally too. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature